Morning. Morning. Is this on? Hello. Testing. Whoa, there it is. Morning. Morning. Thanks for being here. Those on the Zoomer or the Teams or whatever, hi. Hope there's actually somebody there to be waving to, right? Good morning. 11. Hi, 11 people. So Dr. Zimmerman was called away this morning, so I'm going to get us started. And welcome again to 2025, right? Yeehaw, here we go. Yeah. Good to get started and good to get finished. Sometimes in the middle, right, there's some hard stuff, but yeah, good to see you all this morning. And for those of you who will agree, let's have a moment of invocation. Father God, thank you for the privilege of being here among friends and family, really, to celebrate this beginning of another year at Southwest Texas College. We look forward to the interactions we'll have with one another, with our students, and we ask your blessings on those interactions, and we ask for wisdom and judgment and patience and clear thinking. We thank you for the honor and the privilege and the duty of getting to work here and being responsible for students' educations and their development and their questions and hopefully finding answers. We thank you for this group of professionals. We thank you for allowing us to be here again this morning, and we look forward to your grace and your mercy and your will to be done in all things. In Jesus' name, amen. And Dr. Gonzales will come and keep us going.
Good morning. How's everyone? Looks a little thinner today. What's going on? This plus 11, and we have how many faculty? 150 something? 200 seats in here. So we have some playing hooky maybe? Not a good way to start the semester. So welcome back. I hope you had a great summer. Summer to relax, recharge. Those of you that work summer 1, summer 2, thank you for giving up one of those 6 weeks to help us continue with our mission, educating our students. Before I begin my updates, I do want to welcome our new faculty members. First, Graciela Rocha, coordinator of our mental health programs. Graciela, are you here? Deanna Brown, PCT instructor for Natalia. Crystal Hernandez, PCT instructor Uvalde. Jonathan Sombrano, welding instructor La Pryor. Jose Huerta Roque, construction science instructor Uvalde. Sadie Woolery, economics instructor. Jonas de los Santos, math instructor, Eagle Pass. Maria Kuykendall, welding instructor, Eagle Pass. Nursing, oh, I'm sorry. You don't want to do welding? So I told my wife earlier this week, I need to make an appointment to get my eyes checks because I have those progressive lenses that get stronger as you go down, and I'm doing this too much. I have no more power down here, so I apologize. You might weld some stitches on, right? Luis Saucedo, welding instructor. Daniel Self, welding technology instructor. Diesel. Oh my gosh. Let me drink some more coffee. We need welding instructors. Francisco Garcia, vocational nursing instructor. Ah, the light helps. Any new faculty members that I did not recognize? Boyd Booker, diesel technology. Eduardo Venegas, surgical tech coordinator here. Anyone else? Going once, going twice? Thank you and welcome. Welcome to our family. Couple of other announcements. Vanessa Villarreal is the new Nita Reed. She started July, transferred July. Nita's last day is August, so she's been training and willing to step into the fire and handle my front desk there. Over the summer, you noticed our invocation speaker had a little thing going on. El viejo. So Dr. Underwood transitioned out of VP academics into special projects. He's leading our charge, finishing up our SAC-COC accreditation process, but he's also working on getting us our Bachelor's of Applied Science degrees. So he's focusing 100% on that as soon as we get our SACs done. And if you didn't know, Ms. April Ruman is our new VP academics. So thank you. So I have this sign in my office, and it says, it's a quote by Benjamin Franklin, and it says, "Tell me, and I forget. Teach me, and I may remember. Involve me, and I learn." And I share that with you because it goes directly with our QEP. Our QEP is all about involvement and engagement and belonging. Many years ago, I did a mini study. It's not a research study or anything, but just an inquiry. And I looked at, and I think I've shared this story before, but I looked at the success rate of our work study students. Didn't matter if they were college work study, state work study, departmental aid work study. They succeeded at a higher rate than our general student population. Why was that? It wasn't GPA. There was no variance in GPA. It was not in they were Pell eligible or not. I mean, that's not it. The key difference is there was a faculty or a staff member that was directly engaged with that work study student. They would come into the office and have that engagement with staff, with faculty. Faculty and staff would know, hey, how's it going in your classes? Somebody cares about me. What's going on today? You don't look the same. Tell me what's going on. It's that involvement, that engagement that makes a difference. Look at our student support services. They have a cohort of, 270 students. They outperform the general population. Yes, they get additional support, but the key difference is they have that engagement. So our QEP is directly focused on increasing that sense of belonging, that engagement with our college professionals, our staff, our custodians, whoever it is, with the goal to make them more successful. We're going to have a lot more sessions on QEP. That's what it is in a nutshell. Okay. Accreditation. We have our on-site visit October 20th through the 23rd. If you can only be nice and friendly for a few days out of the semester, pick those days. We're finishing up our response to the off-site comments. They'll be submitted September 1-ish, along with our QEP plan. So the on-site will have 8 to 10 members from other colleges. I mean, there are peers to come and review some stuff that we submitted to them and ask questions. You may be asked to be part of an interview, see what you know about the QEP. If you know nothing about the QEP, you will know that you're trying to increase the sense of belonging, those connections with the students, because that's what makes a difference to get them successful. If you can say that, I think we're going to be okay. Now, they're going to tell you you're going to have to learn a little bit more than that, but if you can remember that I think gets us out of boiling water. Technical program expansion. I'm just giving you the bullets and my updates here. So technical program expansion, this last year we added the diesel tech heavy equipment here. We added surgical tech. They're in their second year, beginning their second year. We have drone tech, that's a workforce program. We've had one, fixing to have maybe 2 more. One here, one in Crystal, yes. So that'd be the first step. Our goal is to turn that into a certificate, perhaps an associate program. We're starting out as a workforce. Tech programs that are coming, HVAC in Eagle Pass, welding and construction science in Del Rio. Those projects have been awarded. The general contractor is beginning the process. That we have to go through permits and so forth, but that's in the queue already. Aviation power plant, we added, we have airframe, we added the power plant. The curriculum has been developed for the most part. Then comes a submittal to the FAA for them to get final approval. So we have a bigger hangar in Del Rio. We renewed our hangar here. We hope to expand the aviation technology. I talked about drone. Applied Science, Bachelor of Applied Science. We're looking at 2 areas, business and education. So that process has begun. We're done the research of what we need to gather. There's going to be some surveys that we need, some industry needs, local needs, regional needs. Develop the curriculum. So we hope to have that process submitted. Our goal is fall 27. Hopefully we can do it sooner. The other big project we're undertaking is our dual credit pathway alignment. So this year it's a big project. Historically, what we've done with dual credit is the schools come to us and say, we want to offer, can you send us English, history, psychology, and maybe a biology course? Sure, we'll put it together. Find a teacher, find the time, send it over. Our goal is to be more methodical, more deliberate about what dual credit we offer where. What sequence, and I say sequence because it matters the way we're funded now. If we can get a student to, especially on the tech side, if we can get them to an industry recognized certification, an occupational skill award, somewhere along the path. And the key to that is they can't be in the same year. So if we were able to do a occupational skill award or an ICLC in their junior year, and then their senior year they get their certificate, we get 2 funding points. The different thing that we're trying to do right now is align that with the high school side of it. We've never looked at their side, so we're selecting 3 or 4 districts to really work with intensively to understand their side, where they get their funding. So we're hoping to impact and increase their CCMR bonus on their side by better aligning our pathways with their pathways. If there's a certification that we use, TA doesn't recognize, if there's another one that TA recognized that we could use, then that increases the value to the district. It also allows them to bill the state for the testing requirements for that certification. So that's the kind of work that we're going to do this year. We've hired a consultant from Region 20 to help us through that process. She's an expert in CCMR funding. So we hope to bring her to meet with our academic folks and the ISDs and sit down and truly map out these pathways to where we can maximize our funding, they can maximize their funding, and we streamline the process for the students in the process. So that's a big goal for this next year regarding dual credit. Can you go to our homepage? I want to talk a little bit about our strategic plan because we did our mid-plan review this past year and developed new goals, revised our go to about, and then go to my page. Office of the President. That's who I am. Go on the right. It says strategic goals. A tab. Up. Third one down.
Now I need glasses.
You need glasses too. A little higher, right there. Now go down. Perfect. Okay. So that's our plan. We have 4 main goals. I'll start with the first one. Goal 1, start enroll. So for that goal, we have specific objectives under it. The first one is to increase our enrollment by 500 students in 5 years, 2030. Pretty clear cut. Objective 1.2, does that sound familiar? Enhance student sense of connection to Southwest Texas as demonstrated by pride, ownership, culture, identity, inclusivity, engagement. Okay, our QEP directly ties to 1.2. Let's go to goal 2. This is our persist and succeed goal. And we want to increase the number of percentage of students to 15 credits. Those with 15 credits that transfer, magic numbers there, 15 credits is a funding point for dual credit. 15 credits with a transfer for any student is a funding point for us. So if we can do 1.2, increase the sense of belonging, the engagement, then the byproduct of that should be increasing their success, getting them to the 15 hours. Go down to goal 3. Okay, so goal 3, increase progress to completion on the academic side, progress to completion on the tech side, our academic transfer rate, our technical employment. All these are supported by our QEP function. If we increase that engagement, that student sense of belonging, then these numbers should go up as well. There's other stuff we can do to increase that. This is just one, but that's how the QEP ties to our strategic goals as an institution. This last one, 3.4, increased technical employment rate. So there was a change in HB8 funding this last year. And so the funding is supposed to be dynamic, which means it changes, it grows, it goes up and down based on what we produce. So after 2 years, the state realized we can't continue funding you at this rate in the dynamic model. We're overproducing. So the pie is only so big, they can't make another pie. So one way to manage that dynamic funding is to introduce a credential of value. So what a credential of value is, the state, in very simplified terms, it's a little more complicated, but very simplified terms, they take the cost of a 2-year education, they take the opportunity cost, the lost wages of that student for 2 years, they add those two together. And then they say, okay, you graduated this year. In the next 5 years, Are you going to earn enough to be more than the cost for you to attend? If you do, that credential has value. If you don't, that credential doesn't have value. So that, very simplified terms, it's a little more complicated, but that's what it is. And they put out a chart, these are credentials of value and these are not. So the more we can get our employment, and it says here tech, because we wanted to focus it down on tech, but their employment is crucial for us. Because if they don't get employed, then their credential has no value. Goal 4. Create new student pathways. That's exactly what we're trying to do with dual credit. We're doing it with other stuff, but we're really focused with the dual credit on creating those student pathways. Why is dual credit important? There are 3,500 of our students. We have 6,000 students, over 50% are dual credit. Develop an institutional framework for strengthening MAP student pathways, community relations, organizational structure for strategic innovation. Okay, so that's our strategic plan. May seem Greek, but once you really look at it piece by piece, it all kind of makes sense. It's the rhyme and reason why we're doing the stuff that we're doing. I talked a little bit about the legislature. We asked this year for another $5 million. 2 years ago, they gave us $5 million for tech expansion. We asked for another $5 million. They gave us another $5 million. So we have $5 million for 2.5 this year, 2.5 next year. For tech, we put a little spin on it, tech expansion / enhancement. So if you're in a technical program, Dean Armando has probably reached out to you over the last 6 months about what's your wish list? What do we need? What do we need to upgrade within our tech programs? We have the money to do some of that now. Presented the board a balanced budget in May. We went a little bit early. They approved a balanced budget. It included a 2-step increase for everybody and a bonus in November provided we hit enrollment targets. And Cruz, we're going to hit enrollment targets, right? Okay, quit dropping them. We dropped 500 students yesterday. Yeah, it was painful. I have a dashboard that gives me, 3-minute data on enrollment and target, and the day before we were at 32,000 semester credit hours, and then yesterday morning I click it and it's 28,000. I was like, oh, drop day. So I talked about credential and value. They did approve. So in the past, we would only get credit for transfers to state universities. Now, private universities will be included. So if we have a student that transfers to Incarnate Word, to Trinity, St. Mary's, McMurray, whatever it is, we'll get credit for those transfers now. They've also expanded the FAST eligibility. This is a scholarship for dual credit students. It used to be in the preceding 4 years, they had to be free and reduced. They expanded that. In the current year, they can be free and reduced and they'll be eligible. Now for some bad news. So the legislature, in their infinite wisdom and knowing how they can solve all the problems, and I better drink some coffee before I say this. They passed a bill, Senate Bill 2615. And 2615 by Senator Creighton prohibits telework, remote work, and institutions of higher ed. The impact to faculty is you must teach in office from our campus. And they're, all it takes is somebody connected to a senator to call and say, hey, so-and-so doesn't have to come to work. So they wrote a bill for it. So beginning this semester, if you've been teaching from your house, expect a conversation from your division chair. We have no choice in the matter. I mean, there's some exceptions for health, temporarily. But it's a new law that came into effect. The other one is Senate Bill 37. And this has to do with faculty, senate, and council. And I mentioned it briefly to Landry and Cabinet last week. again, this is a Senator Creighton bill, and a lot of it stems from universities. We're just having to deal with the indirect impact of them trying to corral university councils. And in a lot of universities, the faculty council, the faculty senate actually has hiring authorization over faculty. They actually approve curriculum. And, our Republican legislature sometimes doesn't like the faculty hires, DEI hires, and slow to respond to their wishes on curriculum. You saw the UT president chose to go to SMU because he got tired of dealing with the legislature. So anyway, they passed Senate Bill 37, and what it says is that the Board of Trustees must approve the faculty senate or the faculty council and adopt policies governing the council composition and its authority. So at our board meeting next week, we are preparing a draft resolution that kind of lays out the parameters that gives us the ability to comply with the requirement, because it has to be in effect by September 1. And we're also working, we have a meeting after lunch with our legal counsel to figure out the mechanics of, because we truly don't have a faculty senate, we don't have a faculty council, we have a faculty association. And what are the mechanics of transitioning one to the other, or if the faculty association becomes the council, or we have two, or we're working that out through our attorney. We don't have all the answers that you may have. And if you want, I have, here's some of the key points that must be included in that resolution, in the authority to set up a faculty senate. So section 51.3522 Education Code authorizes the governing board of an institution of higher ed to establish a faculty council or senate and sets forth the policy by which the governing board shall select its members. Some of the criteria: the faculty must adequately represent each college and school of the institution. Again, that's kind of looking at a university, the College of Business, the College of Education, College of Natural Science, requires the members to be faculty members. Limits the numbers of members to no more than 60, with at least 2 representatives from each college or school. Well, if we take that literally in our situation, we could say we have a College of Liberal Arts, the College of Applied Sciences, so you have a faculty association of 4. These are the kind of things that we need to reconcile with the law and actual practice in community college. Limit the number of members to no more than 60, 1 member from each college or school appointed by the CEO. The remaining members are elected by a faculty member. The faculty council senate is advisory only, may not be delegated final decision-making authority, shall represent the entire faculty. I just, hit some high points just so you see what we're dealing with here. A member of the faculty appointed by the CEO may serve up to 6 consecutive 1-year terms. Those elected by the faculty serve staggered 2-year terms. The CEO shall appoint faculty president, vice president, secretary. The presiding officer shall preside over the meetings. The faculty council shall conduct meetings at which a quorum is present and open to the public. They should be broadcast over the internet. They need to make an agenda available 7 days before the meeting. They're really, we're having to deal with the unintended consequences of them trying to rein in university associations, and we're just trying to figure it all out, and how we can comply, and how that relates to the faculty association that we've had for many years. Does this qualify as a senate or council? I don't know the answers to that. You may have questions, but I did at least want to give you as much information as I have. We're trying to comply. You're going to see this resolution just setting out, giving me the authority to set up a policy that complies with the law. But we're visiting with our attorneys after lunch to see what advice they give us to kind of merge the two, or how to proceed, really, how to proceed. Okay. That's it for bad news. On a lighter note, I do want to share that our rodeo athletes made us proud this past year in Casper, Wyoming. If you haven't seen, you got my video queued up. Don't play it yet. I'm proud to announce that our rodeo team brought home 3 national titles and other awards. First of all, our women's team, our whole team, were crowned national champions. Awesome. 4 athletes, AC Pinkston, Alyssa Flores, Natalia Ramirez, and Carly Martinez, all made us very proud as an institution. They're competing against universities, community colleges, that's it. There is no other collegiate rodeo. They are the national champions. We are the national champions for this next year. In addition to that, AC Pinkston was crowned the national champion barrel racer. Tyler Calhoun, national champion calf roper. He also earned the award of national champion rookie of the year. And then Slade Wood, he was in the running for national all-around cowboy, drew a not very cooperative calf. But Slade has won 2 national titles in his 3 years with our institution. So, and Jace Tinderhorse, he won the national champion healing horse. So our students really did us proud, put us on the map. I don't know if Joey's here this morning. He's not. He's on the screen. Hey, Joey, great job. He shared a story where he was, the minute it was over, he started getting calls of rodeo athletes, high schoolers wanting to come. Yeah, so it's great. Let's play this short video.
She turns in the fastest time of the entire rodeo and wins the 2025 National Intercollegiate title. Ladies and gentlemen, here she comes for the Head 6 Travel Center, AC Pinkston. Southwest Texas College is smiling right now.
That's it? Oh. Can't see. I still get chills just from watching that. It was so exciting. I felt so proud. At the beginning of the rodeo, the kids came up to my room, or Joey came up to the room and said, "I have something for you." And he gave me a cowboy hat. And he said, oh, the kids all pitched in and got you a cowboy hat. And right before we went to Casper, I went to Rocking R and got me a straw hat. I have a felt hat, but I didn't have a straw hat. So I went and bought one, so I just kept it in the room. I used the one the kids gave me. And then afterwards, I asked all of them to sign it. So they're all autographed inside. And so I'm going to keep that hat when we take our kids to Casper this next year. Hopefully we can add more signatures to that national champions hat. And I want to close with a little story. Once upon a time, a daughter complained to her father that her life was miserable and that she didn't know what she was going to make it. She was tired of fighting and struggling all the time. It seemed just as one problem was solved, another soon followed. Her father, a chef, took her to the kitchen. He filled 3 pots with water and placed each on a high fire. Once the 3 pots began to boil, he placed potatoes in one pot, eggs in the second pot, and ground coffee beans in the third. He then let them sit and boil without saying a word to his daughter. The daughter moaned and impatiently waited, wondering what he was doing. After 20 minutes, he turned the burners off. He took the potatoes out of the pot, placed them in a bowl. He pulled the eggs out and placed them in a bowl. He then ladled the coffee out and placed it in a cup. Turning to her, he asked, "Daughter, what do you see?" "Potatoes, eggs, and coffee," she replied. "Look closer," he said, and touched the potato. She did and noted that they were soft. He then asked her to take the egg and break it. After pulling the shell off, she observed the hard-boiled egg. Finally, he asked her to sip the coffee. Its rich aroma brought a smile to her face. "Father, what does this mean?" she asked. He then explained that the potatoes, the eggs, and the coffee beans had each faced the same adversity, the boiling water. However, each one reacted differently. The potato went in strong, hard, and unrelenting, but in the boiling water, it became soft and weak. The egg was fragile, with the thin outer shell protected its liquid interior until it was put in boiling water. Then the inside of the egg became hard. However, the ground coffee beans were unique. After they were exposed to the boiling water, they changed the water and created something new. "Which are you?" he asked his daughter. "When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Are you a potato, an egg, or a coffee bean?" So in life, things happen around us. Things happen to us. But the only thing that truly matters is what happens within us. Let's have a great semester. And I welcome whoever's next on the agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzales. So this is the second time that I've got to follow the rodeo announcement in a presentation, and every time I see it, every time I watch it, it was live streamed. During it, I get cold chills and I get emotional. So I just thank the rodeo team for their efforts, but I thank the college for supporting it. It is our team. Some colleges have a lot of different sports teams. This is ours, and it's so neat to chronicle their journey, follow their stories. And I'll just quickly say, if Coach was here, he would tell you that all of these athletes are also academias, and each year we graduate out with associate degrees, certificate degrees, many of the rodeo students. I remember Slade Wood when he first started with us, and he earned a certificate. And I can't remember what certificate, but I know Joey was talking to me about it, and he said, Slade has told me I want to come back and I want to get that associate's degree with Southwest Texas College. And Coach said, well, we'd love to have you. Do you want to come back one more year? He chose us because of what you guys in the classroom, the services that are provided, the staff, the comfort, the belonging, how he felt comfortable with us, he chose to come back. So that career is one that you don't actually maybe need an associate or an advanced degree. You can take your certificate and go straight into career. But he chose us. So again, that's the second time I've got to do that, and every time I get emotional and I get cold chills, and I just had to share that. But thank you. For those of you that are new, as Dr. Gonzales said, my name is April Ruman, and it's a true honor to stand before you at this convocation in my new role as Vice President of Academic Affairs. I step into this position with gratitude, humility, and an unwavering belief that education is powerful, and what we do and what you do every day is valuable to the community, the families, and the students we serve. I'm going on about 30 years of experience in educating others, and half of those have been with Southwest Texas College. Southwest Texas College is near and dear to my heart. Many of you have been here the entire time of my journey. You're near and dear to my heart, and many of you are brand new. I welcome you that are brand new. You've joined a wonderful organization that truly is a family. Above all, I commend you all on choosing the path of being an educator. I wouldn't say it's an easy path, but it's a fulfilling path. This morning I thought, well, what does the dictionary say about the word educator? So I looked it up. The word educator has a very simple definition: a person who teaches, a teacher. Now, wait a minute. I want to speak directly to the faculty because I want to note, to be a teacher and to teach anything is not simple. Some of you come to the education field with experience in teaching. Some of you come into the field with work experience, but you're here to help others learn something new, provide a skill to them. What I can say to you is, I know for a fact you are highly educated in your field. You are very skilled in your craft. And we are honored to have you at Southwest Texas College to be a member of our faculty. Each of you bring a unique set of experiences with you. You bring them to the classroom, you bring them to the clubs, you bring them to the events. Your experiences include past work, past life, current life, and your educational journey. These experiences serve as a catalyst to our students. It's a catalyst for them to understand the concepts you're trying to teach them, and it's a catalyst to help them see a future beyond one that they might have imagined on their own. So thank you for choosing to teach. However, the college is made up of many departments, and I like to think of us all as cogs on this big old wheel, and we each have our roles and our duties and our jobs. So along with Vice President of Academic Affairs, there are different departments that I directly oversee. So I shot a little email out and I said, hey guys, I have 10 minutes, that's all, at convocation. Tell me something, just a few little snippets about what's going on in your department that I could share with faculty, staff, and the community at large. So I want to start. One department is dual credit. Dr. Gonzales talked about how dual credit is so important to us. That department is tirelessly working right now registering students, which is wonderful. That's one of the functions that they provide to us. It's not the only function. They help us review our relationships with our districts. They help us look at questions that the districts have specifically to us. How can we best answer those, provide resources to students. But right now, as of last night, we had about 2,480 dual credit students enrolled. We're working with 5 districts right now that underwent some extenuating circumstances, and we are actively registering more students. We will hit the goal. I know that we'll hit around 50% of registration will be our dual credit population, but I want you to know that many of you are checking your classes, you're checking your schedules. They're working very hard to get that added and provided for you. Another note about our dual credit partnerships. So we talk about our students, but then we need to talk about our partners. So our districts are the partners that we get to be together with to educate the students in our communities. We have 35 high schools within our 11 county service area and multiple homeschools that we partner with to educate the students of our community. We have different models in place. We have some called it's called dual credit. We have models called early college academies, and we have models called P-TECH. Within these models, what we're trying to accomplish is education. Within that, we're trying to accomplish an avenue for these young students to earn a high school diploma, to earn an associate degree, a credential of value, an industry-based certification, something that makes them marketable. When they walk out of high school, they walk out with a set of skills that will make them valuable to the workforce. Dr. Gonzales mentioned our work with Region 20. Our work with Region 20 is going to be, in my opinion, very powerful for the planning and moving forward of what we do with our high school partners. One of the areas that we see with our high school partners is they have and something called college and career readiness models, and they have indicators. The state has said this is what helps you earn these indicators. Inside of those indicators, the state has defined a list of industry-based credentials. If we can align what we're doing with their industry-based credentials, we can serve the high schools, our partners, to benefit them, benefit their students, but also to capture and benefit our programs. We're not asking our programs to change what we're doing. We're asking our programs to think about and incorporate maybe a different type of certification, or maybe it's the exact same certification. We just need to recognize it, we need to talk about it, and we need to make sure that our partners are aware of it. Another area that I oversee is workforce. Workforce at the college is always out and about and busy all over our service area. Sometimes they're kind of hidden, and you might not know that they're actively meeting with community partners. So not only let's move out of our high school partners, but our community partners. They meet with businesses, entities. They work with the state of Texas, Texas Workforce Commission. They work with Middle Rio Grande. They work to provide opportunities for those in our community that want to upskill, reskill, get a start into a career. It's a wonderful feeder for people to have an opportunity to get a certificate, a program completion, something of value to the workforce. Recently, if you haven't noticed, drive down Garnerfield Road and you'll see that we have a site established in Uvalde, the Workforce Center. We have our new CDL program to Uvalde. It's not new to the college, it's new to Uvalde. And then we have our Powerline program. Directly across the road is the Briscoe building. Inside of the Briscoe building, we now are proud to say that we have a fully staffed workforce department who is working to meet the community, meet the students, serve the walk-in traffic, and answer those questions that we know are embedded in our community. Last year, we had 45 students graduate with the CDL program in Uvalde alone. Opening doors, opening opportunities, and serving the community. Another area that I oversee and have for some time, I feel like many of you I've worked directly with in many capacities, but it's just the academic affairs, liberal arts, applied sciences. And so, as you know, those are very, very busy programs as well. The departments are busy. You are the department. You know the workload that you handle for the college. You understand your division chairs and your deans and their roles and responsibilities. So I did reach out and I said just a couple of highlights. We really can't talk more than our 10 minutes. So just a couple of highlights. So one thing we're very proud of is the work this past year that we did for something called Occupational Skills Awards. So on the academic side, the Occupational Skills Awards were developed by us saying, what are some credentials that we could embed into our programs that would be valuable? So it starts way back with your advisory boards. another set of partnerships. So each technical program has an advisory board, which is made of community stakeholders that help guide, encourage, monitor, mentor our programs. They look at our curriculum, they look at what we're doing, they look at what we're producing, they look at if the students can find jobs when they graduate. We host those meetings annually. So annually, a year ago, we started having these meetings and we said, hey, what about some small little momentums of achievement that we could embed into these programs? We are calling those Occupational Skills Awards. We've embedded those into almost every single applied science program that we offer, and multiples of those. So that group did our due diligence, did our work, sent it up to this other side of the house, the other team. The other team is registrar, the other team is reporting, the other team is, colleague. It's how do we recognize this to the state if we're going to do this work? I'm happy to report last week I got an email from Steve and his team, and he said, I want to shout out to this team. So think colleague, think reporting, think data collection. Again, some of those hidden figures that are very important to our institution. Last year, there was 211 OSAs that they were able to capture and claim just based on a new procedure that they developed in their offices to collect that data. It's first go around for us to even think about this. So academics, technical did the work of getting the OSAs in. You've done the work to recognize them. You've met with the community partners. Now the college did a trial run and we found 211. We weren't even expecting that. We were going to be happy to find just a few just because this is not an easy process. So I want to applaud and thank each group to be able to help us bring that. What does it bring to the students? It brings marketable skills. What does it bring to the student who's in a program? So you're in a year one program. You get your OSA in the fall. You have something to go to an employer and say, I have a construction science assistant, blah, blah, blah. They might hire you over the person without it. So while you're in school, many of our students need to work. These are skills that are valuable when they go to talk to employers. Yes?
And those 211 actually translates to $250,000 more dollars.
So Dr. Gonzales added that the 211 OSAs, Occupational Skills Awards, translates through the HB8 funding model of $250,000 for the institution. Other areas of accomplishment that we just want to brag on. The applied science team worked on the True Pathways grant. We have a wonderful and fabulous nursing program at our college, but one of the things that we keep getting requests from our dual credit partners, our community partners, is can you start it earlier? Can you start it earlier? We really want to do this in high school. So the applied sciences team wrote in for a grant called the Nursing Pathway Grant. We have 1 year of development and then we have 1 year of implementation. But within that grant, the goal is to help a student enter in high school and have a progression path all the way through their MSN. That's a huge accomplishment. Something else that's a huge accomplishment, our Hondo site has had an HVAC program. I'm trying to find Lee. He's our HVAC program coordinator. We've had an HVAC program for a few years over in Hondo, and we've been able to offer your basic certificate over there. This year will be the first year that we're able to offer the advanced certificate. What does that do for a student in a community? Well, take your basic ones, right? And you take that cohort of students, and now we're providing an advanced pathway for them, not only to earn their advanced certificate, but now we've opened the door for them to get their AAS in with HVAC if they so choose. So I'm very proud of that effort. I'm very proud of that that group because it is not one that's as easily accessible to us. Hondo's a site that we enjoy a partnership with. We maintain that partnership, but it is not as accessible as, say, Eagle Pass, Del Rio, or Uvalde, just to the regular services. So I want to applaud that. We had a really great email. I'm trying to find them. This summer, I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I love to follow you guys on Facebook. I'm one of those. You may not know you're my friend, but you are. And so Bonnie Kleinbell, where are you? Denise Vanderleck, where are you? We have 100% pass rate for our students. 100% pass rate. So what does that do for students? Students that enroll in the Rad Tech program are with us for 2 years. That's a long commitment. So think of return of investment. Think about what Dr. Gonzales was saying, where we're trying to have a credential of value. They give us 2 years of their time to be working an intensive schedule, learning radiology technology. 100% success rate is 100% worth your time, right? There's no second test. There's no additional attempt. There's no more tutoring. They made it happen. We're very, very pleased of that. I would like to say also, we're very pleased with our programs in general. I cannot highlight you all, but you are noticed, you are valuable, and what you do is very important to the community we serve, the students we serve in this institution. I'd like to leave you with, in terms of applied sciences, we are working towards 2026, a physical therapy assistant program. When I say working towards, I just want to preface that with, what does it take to bring a program to the college? We bring a program to the college by listening to the community. We have to have our partners, our community partners. They start feeding us information, and they catch us everywhere. They catch us in the grocery store. They catch us at social engagements, and they'll just pull your ear and say, hey, have you thought about this? And the answer is always, well, let us think about that. Let us see. So with the physical therapy assistant, we've been hearing this need across the community. It's allied health. Allied health is a shortage industry. But the process, so what does it take for us to do that? Well, for us to do that, we have to go to the state, and we have to prove to the state that we have the marketability, we have the employability, and we have the need in our area for such a program. And so that process takes time. So that's why I say we're looking for the fall of 26. It's not something we can just go add a few courses to our inventory. We need to go through the proper channels in the process. The liberal arts team worked very diligently this year with faculty, staff, and stakeholders in developing something called Field of Study. Field of Study is a really neat option for us as an institution to be part of. It allows our students to, when they transfer to a bachelor degree program, they can take their Field of Study courses with them if they transfer to the applicable majors. What's really neat about this is where you ask faculty to develop new courses. This is where you go back in and the state tells you, here's what you're allowed to do. This is what counts. Can you do it? So the liberal arts chairs met with faculty and said, can you do it? And they said, yes, we can. That reminds me of Bob the Builder. Can we fix it? Yes, we can. Very seldom are we told, no, we can't. So I want to applaud and I want to share with you the field of studies that we now have. We have 13. We have biology field of study, business administration field of study, communication field of study, criminal justice field of study, education early childhood through grade 3, education early childhood through grade 6, education grades 4 through 8 core, English language and literature field of study, history field of study, political science field of study, psychology field of study, registered nursing field of study, and sociology field of study. I want to applaud each of you that had a hand in this effort. When we talk about the core and we talk about our students transferring, we talk about opening doors and creating pathways, this is how we do it. We make sure that what they take with us transfers on. We make sure that what they take with us is marketable. And we make sure that when they leave with us, they have a return on their investment. Thank you for giving me 10 minutes. Again, it's my honor, and I will go ahead and tell you who's next because it's listed. We're looking at Mr. VP Cruz Mata.
Hello. Good morning. And for those who are new, welcome to the SWTX family. Again, we are family. And if you need anything, I have an open door policy. You can come to my office at any time and chat or give me ideas or whatever. So, what's new in our departments? We currently, this past spring, we invested and we got tutor.com. Tutor.com is actually pretty cool. I was part of that process and the implementation and all that. The presentations that they were given and all that stuff. So when Lisa brought it to us, Ana Lisa Conde, well, she did a very great job. I was very impressed. So we ended up getting it, and it's pretty cool. It's real cool. It's tutoring.com. Tutor.com is 24/7 online tutoring service offering unlimited hours of expert support, completely free of charge for our students. So this service can be accessed from anywhere and from any device pretty much, and it's very flexible. So not only does it help with tutoring in specialized areas like math, algebra, your calculus, statistics, even biology, chemistry, you're pretty much your core, but also it offers, study tools and lessons, instructional videos, even NCLEX support, which is very cool. So ACT and SAT preparation for our high school students if they need it. So any student that is our student has access to this, and it's on Canvas. So if you have any questions on that, do not hesitate to reach out and get more information on it. Also, next slide. What's cool about tutor.com is that we get what's called a transcript. It notifies me when a student has spent too much time, or if they catch something that, something's off here. So what it does, it sends me an email and it tells me the course and how long the student was, part of that, session. It provides me an actual transcript where I can read word for word what the student was saying and what the tutor was trying to help with the student. So it's very specific. So if you get a call from me, now you know why. It's not to say, it's to help the student. What is it that we can do to help the student? And you'll see, as to the why. All right, next slide, please. So before we get into some data, we have commencement regalia guidelines now. So what started happening during our commencement and graduations, it started getting a little bit out of hand. As far as stoles and cords and stuff like that. So what we were tasked to do is to come up with something to provide, uniformity. And that was the goal. So pretty much now what it is that, it's going to be limited for students who want to do a stole or have a cord. And we're looking at academic, if you really, and technical. So pretty much what we're trying to do is, recognize, wearing a stole is kind of like a privilege. It's an honor. And that honor should be, for students who excelled. And so, what was happening, we had a bunch of students trying to wear a stole and a cord. So we had to change that. So now if a student really wants to wear a stole or have a cord, they have to have at least get that GPA 4.0 because they did what they needed to do to earn that 4.0. So there is I don't want to spend too much time with this, and I'll share with this through email. On the guidelines on what they do. So also what I created a form for departments where they can, if they recognize a certain student, they can turn in the form, sign it, and it'll tell me, okay, this student earned it. And that we'll sign off on it. So if you have any questions or concerns, do not hesitate to contact me, and I'll elaborate on that. So also what it is, on the, stole guideline, next slide, please. It's going to be 3 to 5 inches. You have certain options where you can, post your whatever they graduated from, if they were, rad tech or, of that nature. So, but it has to be uniform. So the stole will, for recognized students, will be the red stole with black trimming. And I'm gonna get with the bookstore where they can have it there where the student can purchase it if they're recognized and of that nature. Also on the cords, we're gonna have the, cords that, if a student earns a GPA of a 3.6 between a three, I can't see anymore. I need my glasses off. 3.6 to a 3.69, they'll be able to wear one cord. If they earn a 3.7 through a 3.89, they'll be able to do 2 cords, and 3.9 to a 4.0 is 3 cords. That'll recognize the students, and it'll create that uniformity that we're looking for. So, and there's a sample of what the stole might look like. So, there it is. All right, next slide, please. What's new? And I want to thank Ryan Aldrich for this. Throughout the summer, I've been working on a dashboard for non-successful outcomes. And that was the whole point with the tutor.com. One of the things that I wanted to look at was, okay, why and the what and the whens and the hows. Okay, so on this slide, what you see is your non-successful grades and students starting from 2020 all the way to 2024 and 25. As you can see, back then we were at 7,114, that's unsuccessful grades. And what that means is anything below a C. So of course, throughout time, it kind of changed. And this year, what I'm interested in looking at is, okay, we had 2,000, can't see. Yeah, something like that. And the unsuccessful grade was 4,000. So when I was looking at the information, okay, I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. So that tells me that we had over 2,000 students who had a D or 1D or more. So in other words, we had a student with, maybe 2 Ds, maybe 2 Fs, maybe 3 Fs. So I want to look more into that, but I need your help. I can't do it, our team cannot do it on our own. So we're trying to change that. And my goal is to be able to cut that into 50%. So, but again, it takes a village. It takes a village to do that. So this idea I got from a conference when I went to a conference in Florida. And the person that was presenting was an actual instructor, which was very interesting. He did online and face-to-face. So on the online instruction, I went to go talk to him. Okay, what is it that you're doing different? How many of you instructors teach online? I'm just curious. All right. So how many of you, when you're online, do you reach out to your student or engage your student? Most of you? Okay, good. So actually what that instructor did different was he would Zoom with the student at least 3 times out of the semester. 3 times out of the semester to talk to the students and to make sure, okay, how is it going? Are you doing well? Where you have, and also have that connection, that sense of belonging that we're discussing and we're talking about. So I want to challenge you if you could do that for the students and see if that would improve our success rate. So, and it's a goal I want to reach. It's a big goal, but I do want to cut it in 50% and see how it goes. Next slide. And it also gives you what I did. I gathered some data for fall in 23 and spring 24. The Fs, the Ds, the Ws, and then 24, 25. So it updates every semester. Not only that, I also have by course, which I'm not sharing yet because I haven't completed it. What courses have the highest unsuccessful rate? And then right now I only have academic. I'm working on the technical. And what I want to do once it's ready, I want to roll it out where all instructors can see and maybe see, okay, oh, what's going on with this? It maybe help improve the engagement, or what is it that we need to do in order to help the student become more successful. So it's still in the works. and hopefully we'll get it done. I know Ryan's super busy. They're always busy, so hopefully we'll get it done by this semester. Next slide, please. In addition to that, our Student Success Center. You know, I've been talking to Areli, and she's the one that brought this information to me, so kudos to Areli. And she's very, very, very knowledgeable in what she's doing, you know, and looking and overseeing a Student Success Center. So what this is a distribution of the Writing Center sessions by course. As you can see, your English 1301, you know, you have most of your students utilizing, you know, the Success Center, and then you have your INRW 0302, English 1302, Psychology, and your codes. So that gives us a little bit of information. So what she shared was, you know, she had about 268 tutoring sessions for the spring overall, and then Writing Center sessions 217. In person were 399, virtual 9, and email 77. So next slide, please. So in looking at the data, you know, she noticed, and we were discussing this when we were at the conference in Florida. She looked at math. You know, she kind of noticed that repeated names in courses, especially in Math 1314, 1332, and 2014, where students were struggling. And we wanted to know, okay, what's going on? Why? What's happening? So, you know, we had a lot of students go to tutoring, repeat tutoring, but not always, you know, successful. Why? Well, what I ended up finding out, she spoke to her tutors, and they mentioned that a lot of students have a deficit in math. So in other words, when they're coming to us, they're already below. So and one of the things that we noticed is, okay, they don't even know how to do fractions. We're like, whoa, what's going on? How do we fix that? So we're brainstorming. How do we do that? And we're not there yet. Next slide, please. If we look at the Writing Center, the writing portion of it, students who go to tutoring, it's a 96% passing rate. I was like, wow, that is amazing. So in other words, if you see a student that's struggling, do not hesitate to say, you know what, go to the Student Success Center. Go to the Student Success Center. You will be successful if you do. Look at that, 96%. So, and I wanted to share that data because, you know, it's very important. We're trying to engage the student. Our team is trying our best to keep them. And as Dr. Gonzales mentioned earlier, the drop. Next slide, please. This is our current data. This is of this morning. Our current enrollment is 5,190. Last year, we were at 6,600. And, you know, our goal is to get the 37,121 credit hours. And as he mentioned earlier, we were at 32, and all of a sudden we had a big drop, and we're now at 29,309. And I'm trying to be that coffee bean boss. I'm trying to be that coffee bean. But, you know, it was a big hit. So I'm looking at the drop list, and what I noticed was there's a lot of students on suspension. A lot of them. How do we prevent that? How do we not, you know, and I'm still trying to figure it out. And this is where I need your help. Again, you know, if you see a student struggling, hey, there's something, because you are the front line. You see the students on a weekly basis, sometimes on a daily basis. If you're doing an 8-week, you see them 4 times out of the week. If it's a regular semester, you see them at least twice a week. So if you know that a student is struggling, do not hesitate to reach out to us. And hopefully with the new program Watermark, it'll help us with that. It'll help us with that. So, you know, that's things that I'm brainstorming and trying to engage our students and make them more successful. And I'm working towards that. Also, I want to, you know, thank my team. You know, our success coaches, you know, they're currently working hard right now, making calls, financial aid, sending out emails, making calls as well. Our other outreach sites, you know, in Crystal City, Lali, Clarissa, we just hired somebody in Hondo. Abigail de Leon. So Abigail, if you're watching, welcome to the family. So to help in that area, and she's also making calls and helping and trying to bring those students back. Also, we gathered some data. We found out that we had about 800 students, a little over 800 students, that were awarded financial aid but hadn't registered yet. So we're calling them, hey, what's going on? We need, come, you have this money, come on. Also, what I'm doing, I'm also making phone calls. And also, I have students that come in, and I'm trying to earmuffs, doctor, trying to find loopholes and trying to get the student in. If it's an award that I have there somewhere, a scholarship award that I can award, I'll go ahead and do that. And so, we're working really, really hard. Registration office, sending text aims, also making calls. So, business office as well, sending the email. So we're working really, really hard to bring that back up. But also, during the semester, we also need your help. How do we prevent from these students from failing? We need, I want to reduce the suspension rate. That's another goal that I have. So, of course, it's a lot of work, but again, it's the engagement, making the student feel that they belong and showing that cariño, as I mentioned, last year, helping them. So, again, we can't do it alone. And, in talking with VP Ruman, she mentioned, Aspen. So that was actually one of my goals when I first came in as VP. We did it once. Why can't we not be number one? I know we can. I know we can do it. But we just need everybody to buy into it. Where's VP Sandoval? ¿Dónde estás? What's your job?
To graduate every student that we have enrolled.
Thank you. To graduate every student that is enrolled. So hopefully you have that same mentality. And again, we cannot do it alone. We need you. You're the front line. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Hang in there. We're almost getting done, and I will take 10 minutes and only 10 minutes. But I'm going to start with our college rodeo again, if you don't mind. I ask for your forgiveness in not wearing a tie today, but I did not intentionally, because I came with boots and jeans, and I wanted to share and show off my national championship rodeo buckle. Again, I'm going to start with rodeo. What a fantastic summer, our college rodeo team. And Coach Allman, Coach Sugar Allman, also, congratulations on a great job and a great year. And I was thinking about that story, and Coach Allman, we visit regularly in my office. And he's the guy, when Dr. Gonzales, when you're talking about watching 20 minutes of boiling water, he's been to 3 rodeos, talked to 6 families already, and recruited for our college instead of waiting to 20 minutes. I know Coach Allman. It's work, it's hustle, and he's part of that, and I am happy to be part of the program as a national championship. So again, let me put this in perspective as I shared with Cabinet and Vice President Ruman as well. Those athletes that we have, they're actually classified as sophomores. When we get our 4-year program, that whole women's team comes back for another year, plus the recruits that are coming in, plus the other recruits on the second year of high school. They're just juniors this year. They're coming back. We're beating schools like Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Sam Houston, Tarleton State, A&M Commerce, and Sul Ross. We're the big dogs on campus. We are a women's national championship rodeo team. Congratulations, Coach Allman. As far as the construction report, I'll begin. Yes, thank you, Dr. Gonzales. We do have finances that are funding our tech expansion. We got HVAC and Eagle Pass at the Chittenden campus, welding, carpentry science, and lineman, power line tech that's going on in Del Rio. So we're excited about that. This summer, we started a paving project. If you notice on our student parking lot 4, that is brand new, that is completed, and the water is supposed to drain. Vice President Ermes, Vice President Monta, your staff, that water is supposed to drain, and it better drain, so, okay. And then we've gone to Eagle Pass. Eagle Pass, you guys are a little bit under construction right now by Vice President Hoffman's office in the Bermeo building, and we're getting there, and it should be done by Monday, the 18th. We think it's gonna be done by Friday. So hang with us a little bit. Not to be left out, Vice President Buchanan and the Del Rio campus, you are scheduled to have something, but we've actually visited with the contractors waiting for your construction to be through before we go in that direction. So Del Rio, we're getting there as well. It's coming. The other thing is the next project on the Uvalde campus in regards to paving is going to be the Briscoe building. We're going to do the north side, the highway side. So gentlemen, ladies, every gate, the 2 back gates will be locked now because of the construction work that's happening. So if you need to find an alternative route, it's the one by the gym or the main entrance. So those 2 back there will be closed and will be locked, okay? And the last one we have is our transportation area. That will be our last paving project. We're in talks with the Garner Science Ventilation, and that is a project that is underway. We met with the architects last week, and they are, I'm looking at my science guys over here, they're about 40% complete of the documents, and so we'll get that going as well. So having conversations about a start date and when we can finish that up. Not only that, Dr. Gonzales has approved HVAC in our gymnasium. And so again, meeting with the architects, meeting with the engineers, that project date will start December 15th, right after our basketball tournament, and we're excited about that. A gymnasium with air conditioning in South Texas, that's what had to happen. So again, thank you for the finances. When we speak of our gymnasium, also there's a vision that underneath the south canopy, if you're parking on this side and walking, we're going to enclose that and put a concession stand. So we no longer will have a trailer outside. We're building a little mini sink, refrigerator, microwave, hot dog roller warmer kind of a thing, nacho, whatever it is, we're going to make a little concession stand underneath that canopy. So that as well is no hot dog and a popcorn machine and hot dog roller. We're going to eat okay. It's going to be good. Thank you, Dr. Shell. As far as this Tate Auditorium, every year the UIL one-act play in our area asks to use this, and that we've had some lighting issue, we've had some issues with our technology, and we've invested into this, and this will be up to UIL standards. The work is written and done. The products are on their way, and then the construction will get in here, and they'll be able to do that. And so we will upgrade our auditorium this year as well. We spoke of the hangar. We made the hangar lab much larger in there. So Mr. Salinas, you and your team, you guys will be ready to go. Construction science classroom. Carlos Lopez and your class will be back in there into the old warehouse. We had, this summer, we made a classroom back in there, and that's for those guys. So a lot of expansion going on, a lot of work going on. The Kincaid building and the wildlife guys, we took down a wall and made a larger room, and we made an audio media room, if you will. Dean, Dan, you're gonna look more handsome than ever, man. Thanks, Bob, for helping those guys out, because we don't have to be right up in their face. We got some seating room. So that's working out really well as well. Other pending projects, if you have not heard, the administration building and the library, we are in the talks of putting in elevators. That is coming. A nursing addition at the WIT building, moving north with that lab. Also looking west with our new physical therapy lab as well. So Dean Mondegrone and I, we're talking with that. We got a lot of growth. We got a lot of work to do. Garner Hall in our girls' dorm. We have 64 beds in that dorm. 62 of them are occupied. And the only reason it's not 64 because 2 girls paid for an independent room. So we're at 100% capacity. And we've got some ventilation issues. It's just an antiquated building, antiquated system. And we're coming in there and upgrading that. And that is on the line of things to do. If you haven't noticed the Matthews in the cafeteria, that's had a small little facelift. There's some big plans for that as well. We'll get there, not there yet, but that is around the corner as well. We also are working on Hubbard Hall. Hubbard Hall is a whole wing that is down. We're trying to fix it, and we just run out of pennies sometimes, and or skilled labor and or time. So we're trying to make all these projects and make them happen. Campus police, life safety. My report says that key audits will be happening again across the institution this year. We're getting too many phone calls. It's, can you please come and open my door? And I get it one time when you forget your key. I get it the second time. But when it's the same person 3 or 4 times, we got a thought you lost your key. So if you lose your key, please let us know. If you lose your badge and ID card, absolutely let us know. And especially if you have many accesses with your card, we can take it off at midnight. Whenever you notice that you don't have your card, we can turn it off immediately. So we'll be doing key audits this year again. If you're locked out of your office before 3 o'clock, please call the custodial services. If it's after 3 o'clock on the Uvalde campus, please call campus police. Vice President Buchanan and Vice President Huffman may have a different way of doing that at their campus, and I'm sure they'll share that with you, but here on the Uvalde campus. You newcomers, welcome. New faculty, new staff, welcome. I also want to share with you a Safe app. If you have not heard about a Safe app, or those of you guys in your little inner circle, please share the Safe app with your new folks here in town, because they'll be able to help them get online and get their cell phone list updated. If you change your cell phone number, go to admissions office, and they'll help you and they'll upgrade you. We pull from the service and numbers there. Public information. Congratulations to our public information team, Wade Carpenter, Philip Hadley, Ismael Martinez, Danny Martinez. We had over 10 million hits. Yeah, incredible. We're doing something right, guys. You're doing it. And again, I know there's a session coming on tomorrow, but how to help build your program, how to get your program out there on social media. I don't think they're buying too many newspapers anymore, but it's on social media. So again, congratulations, guys. Yes, sir. And Julio in Del Rio, thank you. Brittany in Eagle Pass, thank you. Yep, they're working and they're putting theirs out there as well. So again, and I want to even share that, can't remember what Sugar Almond said, that she hosts the college rodeo page, and I want to say they even had over 1 million hits themselves this year. Don't quote me on that, but again, I'm going to stop. This is not on script. There's a trend of a cap that the letters are upside down and backwards. Yes, you know about that trend? Okay, and I saw a cap like that. It said the University of Texas, and it was an upside down, backwards, TEXAS. And you flip it upside, you read it perfectly. But it's a trend that's going on. Thank you, Julio. Julio in Del Rio went to the cap, made one up for us, and I brought it to cabinet, and they're looking at it like the cap is upside down, and it's a trend. But I sincerely made this comment. I said, if the University of Texas can do it, we can do it. If they're that good, you know what? We're that good too. We're just as good as they are. You know why? Because you guys sitting right here in front of me. We're just as good as anybody else. I believe that. Yeah, amen to that too. Yeah. There's no reason why we can't all get better this year. There's no reason why we can't reduce those numbers that Vice President Mata was sharing with us. There's no reason. We can do it. Let's get it done. So congratulations, over 10 million hits. Christmas at the college, Wade Carpenter's work and his team, December the 2nd, Ismael, December the 2nd, Christmas at the college here. Vice President Huffman has a different date. It's in November. She'll get with your teams. And Vice President Buchanan has a tentative date, December the 4th, pending, and she will get you more details. But yeah, Christmas at the college, fun night here, December the 2nd. Graduation, December the 9th. Yay, we're treading new waters. We are headed to Del Rio, Texas, December the 9th for graduation. Yep. And we're looking forward. There will be 2 sessions. All of these things will be ironed out and with time. But yeah, we're really looking forward to going to Del Rio for graduation this year. Swimming pool and gymnasium. My heart is right there. The gymnasium is now open on the Uvalde campus at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. Don't miss your workout. Don't miss leg day. You'll get a little bird, everything chunky except for the 2 little legs there. Don't miss leg day. Okay, that opens at 10 a.m. Start your program. No one's going to take care of your health but you. You're the only one that's responsible for your health. Right, right, yep. I got 2 health guys right here, yep. I'm sorry? For public use or for like? Yes, you and your college ID, 10 a.m. it opens. And finally, my last note is our turkey trot out of the gymnasium. That is on Saturday, November 22nd. Saturday, November 22nd. Mr. Venegas, it's a 5K, walk or run. You're more than welcome, and you can drag Ray with you, and we would love to have you 2 guys. So anyway, that's all I have. I thank you again. Welcome back. Great to see you guys. Look forward to a great year. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm not taking 10 minutes. I'm going to take about 2, so we'll make up some time here. I have a couple things from the business office. There's been some common errors on the travel and expense report, so just so everybody knows, 70 cents is the mileage rate. A lot of people are using the old rate. It generally changes every year, but the IRS has not given any indication it's going to change for 26, so 70 cents on your mileage per mile. The other thing is, on the 75% day when you come back from your conference, a lot of people are deducting if a meal is provided at the hotel or at the conference, they're deducting 100%. So do remember to do that calculation and deduct at 75%. You're shorting yourself. So we've had to make quite a few corrections on that one. A lot of questions on the new budget. So backed by popular demand, Aubrey Haynes will be doing budget workshops on Thursday. There will be one in the morning at 10 and then one in the afternoon at 2 p.m. The only other thing I have is an update with some of the ERS for retirees. And Ms. Doobie is going to come up and kind of go over some of that with you. And back to the travel, if you have any questions on your travel forms, completing those, Rosie at the business office is really good. Also, Blanca can help you, and I'm available as well to answer any questions there. So, Ms. Doobie.
Thank you. Okay. First of all, let me talk about the vector solution training. Most of y'all, except for the new people, had some courses that you had to complete last year and probably the year before on sexual harassment, the FERPA, Clery Act, and preventing harassment and discrimination. Those are going to be assigned again here probably next week. So you'll start noticing that you're getting these, and they all have different deadlines. You'll have enough time, most of them are like 30 days. But they are required. We have to do them every single year. The other thing is on the sick pool. If you're not participating in the sick pool, if you've already been here a year, you are eligible to participate. You can donate 8, 16, or up to 24 hours of your sick leave, and it starts coming out in your check in September. It's donated, and if in the future, for some reason, unfortunate circumstances, that someone needs to borrow or pull from the sick bank, that's the opportunity. You do have to be contributing to be eligible. And the newsletter, I put out a newsletter every month. Please read it because I update information on benefits and retirement. And I do have a lot of people that asked me questions that I just put out on the newsletter. I had people come up to me regarding open enrollment, which took place in the first couple of weeks of July. And I had put it in the newsletter for different, months, kind of letting everybody know it was coming. It was, if you wanted to make any changes. Of course, now it's too late. We have to wait for either a qualifying event or until next July. So please read the newsletter. And then the Rule of 80. I know most of you say, and I hope nobody's planning on retiring yet anyways. But the Rule of 80, it does apply. You have to meet the Rule of 80 when you retire to get your TRS, and your ERS. But there are some other situations people say, okay, well, I can take my insurance when after I complete 10 years. It is true. You can take it, but if you've only been here for 10 years, you'd have to pay, you take the group insurance, but you pay it at 50%. 50% is, like right now, it's about $311. And if you've been here 15 years or more, it's at, the state pays 75, which you pay about $150 something. And if you've been here 20 or more, it's at 100%, so that means you don't pay anything. But there was, back in August 31st of 2014, it was grandfathered that if you had been here 5 years and worked 5 years prior to that, which was from 2009 to 2014, or 5 years, then you're grandfathered in, so automatically your insurance would be paid for if you retire. And I'll provide you that information. You should be getting information in the mail. I know a lot of people don't read the ERS that comes to your mail, but they do keep you updated and a lot of that stuff, so please read your mail. And also look out for anything that comes from All Right. If it's not just from ERS, it could be from All Right, because if you added dependents this year, or you made changes to your life insurance or short-term disability, then more than likely they're going to audit you, and they'll send you what they need to be in compliance with that audit. So it's important to read the mail. So I'll leave some of these handouts. I'll set them up here if anybody wants anything. If you have any questions, please come by my office, give me a call, or send me an email. I usually respond pretty quickly. Thank you.
Just for those of you that are new, welcome, and just come by the business office if you have any questions on anything with accounts payable, travel, purchasing, or the benefits with Ms. Doobie. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna put my phone down here with a timer on it, and then I will not look at it. So hi, new folks. Hi, I'm Mark Underwood. I'm Vice President for Special Projects, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about a couple of those. And in fact, Dr. Gonzales has already mentioned those. I will be coming to faculty with business and education credentials starting this semester to start working on courses for the two proposed four-year degrees. One of the big deals there is to develop the curricula. And quite frankly, it'd be easy enough just to go find curricula from other schools and copy and paste and just cheat, quite frankly. But one of the problems with that, aside from just being unethical, is when we approach this SACUE, our accrediting agency, for approval for those new programs, we have to demonstrate that the faculty are highly involved in the development of those programs. So I'll be reaching out to y'all this semester. New folks, we are in our what's called a decennial, every 10-year reaffirmation of accreditation. A lot of folks in here are tired of hearing about it. This will be almost the last time we talk about this. Probably, almost. We'll be hopeful. For those of you who do not know, or if you're new to higher education or new to the college, reaffirmation is both a self-assessment and a peer review process that every school in some form or fashion goes through with some accrediting agency. We are members of SAC-COC, that stands for Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges, which is why everybody abbreviates it to SAC-COC. We are, as Dr. Gonzales mentioned, we are finishing up a response report. It's called a focus report that is in response to the input from an off-site committee who reviewed our compliance certification, a very large report that we turned in last spring. And we will, by September 1-ish, September 2-ish, turn in that response, as well as our quality enhancement plan, the QEP. On September the 8th, the committee that will be here on October 20th through the 23rd will have access to both of those documents through the SACS portal. They will review those documents, and then when they come here on these days, October 20th through 23rd, we will interact with them, and we will have the opportunity to respond to their assessment of those two documents. Excuse me. So I'm just going to run through quickly what we can basically expect during the week of October 20 to 23rd. I'll send you email reminders of this because some of y'all are going to walk out of here and go, never mind. And reminders of this starting in October, because it's certainly possible that we will have to interact with them at some level. So I'm not going to read all that to you. Y'all can read. We don't know if there'll be an observer. An observer is a peer. It's not a SAC staff person. It's someone like us who's probably at a school who is upcoming, who has a review upcoming, and would like to know more about the process. VP Ruman actually was an observer, a visitor on a team last October to a school in Alabama, and we will probably agree to have the observer if we are approached. Dr. Nuria Cuevas is our SAC-COC vice president. She is the only staff member who will be here from SAC-COC during the visit. Again, just a reminder, this is a review process from our peers. None of the members of the committee will be from a Texas school. They will all be from other states in the Southern Association, which goes from Texas up to Virginia. So here's basically what's going to happen. There could be some variation, depends on what the chair and Dr. Cuevas decide. So on Sunday, some of the committee members will start coming in Sunday evening. That's because on Monday, down to the second part of the Monday line there, OCIS is off-campus instructional sites. Okay, there will be we will send in fact, I need to do that today or tomorrow. Savannah or whoever's got more information that I need. I'm going to send all of our off-campus sites. That's anywhere we teach courses other than the Uvalde campus. This is our main campus. I send in all that information to Dr. Cuevas and to the chair, and they will, between those two, decide how many off-campus sites they will visit, and those visits will happen on Monday. So some of the folks will come in Sunday night, 3 or 4 of them typically. They will volunteer to do that, and one of the very, very first things they do on Monday is we'll take them out to wherever it is they're going to go. It won't be any more than probably 4 to 6, 6 to 8, depends. 8 of the sites were visited. Some of y'all remember during our 5th year review, we have a 5th year report that we write. Those were virtual visits because it was in a COVID circumstance. However, the next year, in the fall of 22, the chair of that committee did come to, she flew in just by herself, and we took her to those 8 sites so she could literally prove they existed. That sounds a little funny, but that's one of the things that, as long as there's a Department of Education, and I guess there still is, Mr. Garabedian, hasn't dissolved it yet, I don't know, but as long as there's a Department of Education, SAC-COC has some obligations to report to the Department of Education, and so that's one of those things they just had to do. So Tuesday is when the main processes begin, you can say. That means they are going to be evaluating aspects of the report that we will send them in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That will consist of a number of things. They will interview faculty, they will interview staff, they will interview administration, they will interview students. And we will have the opportunity ahead of time to know whom they wish to speak with. So for example, they will say, the chair will send me, I'm the liaison to SACUE for this college, okay? So they'll send me this list of stuff. We want to talk to whoever, I'm just making up this list, right? The registrar and the VP for student services and the blah, 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 blah. And we will probably, unless they designate when they want those, we will have the freedom to designate the specific times those interviews will occur. So we will try to work with your schedule if you're a faculty member especially. They will not come here and just on purpose pull you out of a classroom to talk to you. All right, that's not, they're respectful of those kinds of obligations. However, if they want to talk to you, they're going to talk to you, okay? And that's not a threat, okay? They're not here to threaten us. They are here to find out more about a question they have from the report. I mean, I've been on lots of these visits, and sometimes something just doesn't make sense or it's not clear. Or I wonder if I talk to that person, I could figure out what this means, and it's a 5-minute conversation. I go, oh, yeah, and that's it, right? Now, faculty, Dr. Gonzales shared with y'all, I believe, at the end of the spring semester, there were 61 faculty cited by the off-site committee as being non-compliant, non-qualified in some manner to teach. Now, don't be insulted by that because, quite candidly, it's obvious that they didn't know what they were talking about in many, many of those circumstances, all right? We suspicion, and we have a little confirmation from some discussions, that there were new members on this committee. We know the chair was a new chair. I think there was some time constraints there. You know, there was some staffing issues at SACS, COC, and I don't know. Anyway, we have responded to all of those questions about credentialing, about qualifications among the faculty. There are, however, quite candidly, 2 or 3 that, in my judgment, in our judgment, there may still be questions about it, and that's okay. Maybe more than 2 or 3. And not going to be 61, I tell you that. Okay. Now, one of the ways that those kinds of questions are solved is that there'll be a committee member, 2 really, who are tasked with being the principal evaluators of faculty credentials. They'll just ask to sit down and talk to you. Okay. And it's not going to be, what the heck are you doing teaching biology? That's not it. All right. It's going to be, we need some help understanding, and you can talk about your experience and okay. One example is we have faculty with international degrees, not you, Cruz, okay. But at some schools there's no such thing as transcripts, okay. At British Isles there ain't transcripts, so we can't say these. So it's going to probably take them sitting down with the faculty and quizzing them about anatomy. I don't know what they'll do. Okay, so please understand that it's going to happen. It's not threatening. It's meant to help them understand better. Pardon me. All right, so Wednesday is typically QEP day. That means somebody from here, an individual or a group, ever how we collectively decide that, will present the QEP, present it in its 5 major chunks. That will be presented to the entire SACS committee, as well as anybody that Dr. Gonzales or whoever is going to make those decisions wants to invite to that session, who can perhaps answer questions and participate. There will be a lead evaluator for the QEP. There'll be one person on the committee who has no other responsibility than to evaluate the QEP. They don't examine faculty transcripts. They don't check on anything else, all right? That person will be the lead questioner, and during that time, although anybody on the committee can and will ask questions. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. They're under a pretty serious deadline of, they have to leave this campus on Thursday morning with a draft report completely finished. And they will stay as late as they have to on Wednesday night to get that done. If it goes well, you can be finished, you know. I've been on a couple, we've been finished by Wednesday at 2 in the afternoon, and we just go eat all afternoon or something, right? Yeah. So, after they've finished their report, the very first thing on Thursday morning, Thursday's always the exit day. The very first thing will be a meeting between Dr. Gonzales, the chair of the committee, and Dr. Cuevas. That's a courtesy meeting with the president. The president will learn any sort of results that are going to be announced later in the morning at the exit conference. So if there are what are called recommendations, and in SAC-COC language, a recommendation is a bad thing, it means that the committee has found us still out of compliance with some standard. Dr. Gonzales will know that from that early meeting. However, at the later in the morning meeting, that'll be the entire committee. It will be Dr. Cuevas, it will be Dr. Gonzales, and whomever else he decides from the institution he would like to be there. It's rare for a board member to attend that, but it's not unheard of. And by the way, they will meet, the committee chair and Dr. Cuevas will meet with, they'll request to meet with a board member or two, probably the chair, during the week. That will likely, by the way, incidentally, take place at the hotel, the exit conference. It's become typical for the exit conference to be at the hotel in case there's really bad news. They don't have to hang around at the school and go find the transportation to get off campus. We have to leave the hotel, right? And they get to wave and say, that's not an anticipation of our having bad news. There are some unbelievable stories, y'all, about weird, I don't have time to tell you, well, I might tell you one right quick, but anyway. So that'll probably be done at the conference. They have a workroom at the hotel, the Holiday Inn Express. It will likely be there. Okay. At that meeting, the lead QEP evaluator will provide the analysis and the assessment of the QEP. And even if it's found to be pristine and wonderful, the committee will probably have asked the QEP lead evaluator to provide some suggestions, maybe an assessment suggestion or a cleanup of this or whatever. The committee chair it's a very formulaic sort of session. The committee chair will thank everybody. They'll thank us for our hospitality. They'll tell us what a beautiful campus we have. I promise you they'll do that, okay? And then if there are any recommendations, the committee chair will read those aloud. And there's stock language for those. It's not a big deal. They'll just read them aloud. Or the committee chair will say, the committee has no recommendations. Okay. And if that's the case, I was at a visit last fall, and this one person literally burst into tears. She was so exhausted and so tired and so hopeful it was not going to be any recommendation. And we were hugging and patting her. And shit. Right. And that's cool. It's not, it's expected that we will be celebrating if we have no recommendations or one or whatever. I don't know. Okay. So a certain level of celebration is not unexpected and appropriate. No noisemakers or, those loud things or confetti, none of that kind of stuff. And this could be reversed. It depends on how Dr. Cuevas wants to do it. Dr. Cuevas will take over, and she will provide some, again, very stock information about what comes next. If there is something we have to respond to, we have a 5-month period in which to do that. She will talk about the conflict of interest that everybody on the committee now has with all of us because they have been here in evaluator roles. We're not allowed to recruit anybody to come work for us. They're not allowed to recruit any of us to go work for them. If we see them at the SACS meeting in December, we can say hi, but we can't say, how the heck did you, we can't do any of that stuff, okay? We can't celebrate anymore, just kind of acknowledge each other, okay? And then the very last thing typically is for the meeting to be turned over to the college president for sort of final comments. That's typically what the SACS VP likes to do, is as a professional courtesy, have the president sort of close the pachanga. So that will probably happen. And if it's all well and good, or not, they will leave immediately after that. Dr. Gonzales says, thanks for being here, and we can stand. There'll be a time of, thanks for being here, congratulations. But some of them will have travel plans that require their immediate leaving. In fact, the lead QP evaluator, unless something has changed, will actually not be at the Thursday exit session. There'll be probably the chair will provide that information. But they won't hang around and go have coffee with us or anything. They will leave. And, if it's all good news, then tailgate party on that new parking lot out there by, yeah. So, also in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I will be soliciting your help with preparation committees that we need to host this event. Some of y'all remember being on these groups last time around, 10 years ago. And I've already got a couple of volunteers, I think, JJ and for hospitality or travel, whichever one, I forget. Okay, so these are the main ones. If something just jumps out at you right now that you would like to volunteer for, please call me or email me. Happy to put you on there. The travel committee, travel group is the most complicated because obviously the distance between here and San Antonio and the distance between here and our off-campus sites, that gets to be a little bit of a planning challenge. So if you're good at those kinds of algorithms, then jump on that one, okay? Mr. Gary Beatty, that's what I was talking about. Cool Hand Luke, great movie. If you don't know it, look it up. The warden, played by a wonderful actor named Strother Martin, who talks like this. He says, I try to be good to you boys. Paul Newman says, oh, we should quit being so good to his boss, and he knocks him down this hill. He tells the prisoners, particularly, it's an old work camp in the South. He tells the Paul Newman character, Luke, you got to get your mind right. All right. So I say that in fun, but also it's important to have a state of mind about this experience with this committee. Accreditation is not a penalty. This thing we're going to be going through is not a penalty. It's a genuine self-assessment, and then it's a genuine review by our peers with the underlying purpose to help us get better, to be a better institution on all aspects. And if you want to get online or come to my office, I'll give you a copy of the principles. It's everything you can think of, from finances to the grounds to safety to everything, okay? So getting our mind right is, what I mean by that is to welcome, I think we need to welcome these folks as our peers, and who they volunteer for this, okay? They get a little stipend when it's all over with, but they're leaving their institutions, they're leaving their jobs, they're leaving their responsibilities to come do this for us. It's an entirely volunteer process. So I would ask that we keep that in mind when they're here. And if you would be interested in becoming an evaluator, being a person who serves on these committees, I'd be happy to talk to you about that. Dr. Gonzales has done these visits. Dean Ruman's been, VP Ruman's been on as an observer. I don't know that we have anybody else that's been out on a visit. We have 2 or 3 other people that have done the off-site visits, where they just receive the report, they analyze it, and they send their response in. Margot Mott has done a couple of those. By the way, none of the people who are on the off-site committee will be on the on-site committee. It'll be an utterly different group entirely, which in this case is a good thing. But anyway, let's see. I'm happy to visit with you about this anytime. I mean, I'm over my 10 minutes, I guess. I didn't look at the clock, but anyway, like I said, I wouldn't. But I'm happy to visit with you about this. If you're uneasy about it, I understand, and I'm happy to help you try to discover why we shouldn't be. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think that's all from me. Any questions? Good. Dr. Shell is next.
Okay, I've only got about 3 minutes worth, so. Good morning, my name's Randa Shell. I'm the Chief of Staff for those of you that are new. We have a few important updates from my departments that'll help guide our work this year and ensure that we're moving forward in the same direction. Like I said, I'll make it quick. You'll be getting more details in the sessions that you're going to be attending over the next couple of days. First, academic faculty, you're going to be hearing about some changes to the process for core assessment. These updates are designed to make the process more consistent, more meaningful, and less time-consuming where possible, which I'm sure makes everybody happy. We want to ensure that we're collecting the right data and using it effectively, so that's the reason for those changes. Second, we're rolling out, or we already saw, Dr. Gonzales showed you all the new strategic plan. This plan sets our priorities for the next several years. It's our roadmap. And it'll guide our decisions in academics, student services, resource allocation, all of those things. It has definitely guided our efforts already in developing the QEP and several other things, programs we're designing, et cetera. We had a really big, very busy summer on the staff side. For those of you that are new or maybe you don't know, staff are here year-round. So we don't get a summer off. We do get vacation, but we don't get a summer off. And oftentimes, summer is the busiest part of the year for the staff side. I get a lot of comments in May, oh, are you so glad that you're gonna have summertime, downtime? The answer is no, we're not. Actually, we look forward to like Halloween. I feel like if I can get to Halloween, I'm on the downhill slide for a couple of months. So our summer downtime happens in the fall/winter. Anyway, we had a very big, the mic go off? I have a really loud voice. Can I just talk? Okay, I'm just gonna talk. I don't like microphones anyway. We had a very busy summer, like I said, culminated in staff convocation on July 24th. It's the first time that we've ever done that large scale of a staff convocation. And I have to say that I feel like it was very, very well received by the staff. We got a lot of really good work done in understanding how the strategic plan drives our efforts on the staff side, and also in understanding how to use our strategic plan interventions to drive our work forward. So lots of progress forward during that session. We also did a lot of other things during the summer, worked on the process for Kate's Cowboy Promise. If you all don't know about Kate's Cowboy Promise, it's a scholarship program that we were given by the Kate Marmion Foundation to help students attend college, students who graduated from high school in Real, Zavala, Uvalde, or Frio counties for now. So developing that process was tedious, but very rewarding, and we're still working on it. We did lots of federal and state reporting over the summer. As VP Ruman said, we worked a lot on getting that OSA process aligned so that we can report those 211 and get that $250,000. So designing that, developing that process happened this summer too. We also have been working extensively along with members of VP Mata's group on developing and implementing Watermark SS&E, Student Success and Engagement. It's a new model. I want to just mention really quickly there that it's very, very, very important for you all to report your attendance. Report attendance of students in Canvas. Because we're going to be pulling that information from Canvas into this new product, and it's going to help us do some early alerts. for students. It's also very important that you're putting grades in a timely fashion in Canvas, because we can also pull that information into this product and do some early alert work on that as well. So that's very important. If you could help us out with that, make sure attendance and grades are reported in a timely fashion. That'd be awesome. Really appreciate it. Okay, so getting back to that convocation. So we did a lot of work with the staff on strategic plan interventions, and you'll be receiving that information and doing things a little bit different. Those of you who've been here for a while know that we had a process for doing strategic plan interventions. We're changing that up a little bit. You're going to hear a lot more about that. And we're doing that to better align our efforts with the institutional strategic plan, establish a more feasible and coordinated approach to strategic plan interventions. You'll notice that we changed the name a little bit. They're still SPIES, but instead of initiatives, they're interventions. We want to focus on that action. What are you doing? What is the action? The revised process is designed to be streamlined. It's designed to reduce unnecessary steps and focus on generating useful, actionable interventions that align with our institutional strategic goals. We'll provide clear guidance and walk you through each step during tomorrow's session so that everyone's confident. And then SIR staff, of course, will also be available after the sessions if further assistance is needed on development of those. Couple more things. Grants. So several of the grants fall under my purview, and we're doing a lot of work in those grant programs. We found out this summer that we got a renewal on our TRIO Student Support Services grant. That makes, I believe that this will be the cycle when we ended at 5 years, it'll be 50 years that we have had TRIO Student Support Services at Southwest Texas College. It's the program that Dr. Gonzales spoke of that serves 270 students and helps them be successful, helps them graduate, helps them get to the goal, which is either graduate or graduate and transfer. In the VITA program, that's the program headed up by Ms. Haynes as the project director. They've done a whole bunch of stuff this summer and in the fall and spring last year as well. The VITA Resource Center, the first one, will be opening in Del Rio this semester. We're super excited about that, and then we'll be coming to Uvalde with a VITA Resource Center for this year, and then Eagle Pass the year after that. We've opened cowboy food pantries, full-fledged cowboy food pantries on the 3 main campuses. And we have also opened one, we haven't had the grand opening of the other one, community kitchens on the Uvalde campus, one in Hubbard Hall and one in Garner Hall, which we've not had a ribbon cutting grand opening on it, official opening, but it's awesome. And it allows students to take food out of that food pantry, cook it in those kitchens, and be able to have full tummies so that they can do what they need to do in class. I don't remember the exact statistic, but I do remember a few years ago, it was like in 2019, reading some statistics about our students in the Trellis Financial Wellness Survey. And one of those statistics said that it was something like 39%, don't quote me on that because that's not exactly right, but 39% of our students had some kind of food insecurity. And that's one of the reasons why that just stunned me, thinking that many students didn't know maybe where their next meal was going to come from, or maybe they were only eating once a day or once every couple of days. There can be various levels of food insecurity. So this grant provides that and many other resources, and they've really been doing a lot of good work. And then also the Title III grant, which is called Full Steam Ahead, and the Title V grant both have a component for emergency aid. And we've put that together with our grant that we got from the Greater Texas Foundation to provide emergency assistance to students, and that might be to pay even a rent bill when they can't make their rent, to help with car repairs, all kinds of things like that. So we're also ramping up our efforts and coordinating our efforts on the emergency aid side. And finally, a quick but very important reminder, if you have any IT issues, please put in a help desk ticket, okay? This is the fastest, most effective way to get your problem addressed. mentioning it in passing or just saying, hey, my computer's doing something weird, that's not going to get it documented and resolved, okay? So please, please, please put in a help desk ticket if you have an IT issue. I think that's it for me. Thank you for your attention, your ongoing work to support our students and our mission. Oh. And I think, VP Ruman, we're going to do this. Yeah. Okay. You need my help? I do. I'll try to yell. Batteries. You have that? Yeah. Okay, so we have a really neat honor today. I'll read a little bit about this experience that some of our faculty were able to join in. So about a year ago, Southwest Texas College joined with ACUE, the Association of College and University Educators, and began a meaningful partnership to support excellence in teaching. We have 5 people here. I hope they're all present, some of you I see, that were able to participate and actually earn the certificate in the Effective Teaching Practices Framework. This framework includes designing learner-centered courses, establishing a productive learning environment, using active learning strategies, promoting higher order thinking, assessing to inform instruction, and promote learning. Thank you. As I call your name, would you please come forward? We actually have a certificate and a pin for you. The first is Peter Salazar. Licensed vocational nursing instructor, Uvalde. Okay, you can just have it.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next person, Karen Cruz. She's a biology associate professor from Del Rio campus for Southwest Texas College. Next instructor, Eliana Romero. She is also a biology instructor, housed at the Uvalde campus. Luis Perez. See here? Anybody? CIS instructor, from the Eagle Pass campus. And we also have Stephanie Gray. Nursing assistant professor located at the Eagle Pass campus. On behalf of Southwest Texas College, congratulations, and we applaud your efforts. Okay, we're almost done. We're to the portion of announcements. Dr. Underwood?
Yeah, I don't have an announcement. I'm just up here to ask if anybody has an announcement, which I guess is kind of what she did. Any announcements for the herd? I mean, for the group?
We'll say for
Monday?
For faculty that are on the Uvalde campus, our first Farmers Mercado will be Monday. We're just starting the semester off strong.
Monday, the first Farmers Mercado.
First day of class. Come by
Okay,
and get
Uvalde,
some
yay.
free goodies.
Good.
I just realized we're doing it, that's why.
Okay. I heard somebody hollering over there. Canola. Oh, Aviles. Yeah, that figures, yeah. You never seen those steam tables? Oh, yeah, what difference does it make? Yes, sir. Sure.
Hi. Oh. I'll try to be quick. I just want to send an invite. So I don't know if you saw in your little schedule, there is a faculty association luncheon. So just a cool thing, it's a free lunch. So if you want to come have some free lunch with the faculty association, please join us. But in stepping into this role, my name is Landra Fowler. I am serving as the faculty association president. And, you kind of read into, what you're getting yourself into. So I read a little bit about what the faculty association is and, who can be a part of that. And I brought this to share. It can be full-time faculty, of course, new and old. So I don't know if you know, I'm also, I come in from phys ed. I'm putting my coach's hat on, so I'm recruiting. So I'm speaking out to recruit, be a part of the faculty association. But in reading some of of who can be a member, I invite all of us. It can be division chairs, I'm reading from our Constitution, information specialists, counselors, or advisors, anyone who serves students. We serve students, our student success. So we're all in this together. And I know that as we look into the initiative our institution is building, this is a great way to be a part of that. So I want to encourage you to come and just share fellowship today at lunch, whether you want to be a member or not. But we can all dream, connect, and belong in helping with our students succeed. So I hope to see y'all.
By the way, John reminds me that today, I heard on the radio today is National Left-Handers Day. Well, congratulations on that. Accident of genetics. I mean, yeah. Who decides those national days? It's a National Pie Day. Who decides that stuff? I don't know. Monday? Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's pie, and then there's pies. Yeah. There's good pie, and then there's that math pie thing. Okay. Other announcements. So please do check your schedule. Lunch goes to 1:15, and then the next session is 1:30. And we're done. You're excused. Thank you for being here.